Dear students, today we are going to study the causes of unemployment in India. The causes of unemployment can better be discussed under the following heads. A tree chart has been given for your convenience. The foremost cause for unemployment in India is the rapid growth of population. The population growth in India was very rapid till recent years, and the rate of growth of population was very high. It was 2.5, decreased to some level, but it still is more than the developed countries when compared to the developed countries. India is the second most populous country in the world. So we have to reduce that. Here, as the topic is regarding unemployment, causes of unemployment, when the population increases, automatically the jobs for the increase in population will not be available. Jobs must be created. How? When the economy is developing, when the effective demand is more, when the income of the people is more, then jobs can be created. Economy can be expanded. But here, instead of any development, the population is increasing. The economy is not expanding, instead it is being hampered. The economy is moving towards backward. Growth of population and population explosion leads to the decline in the development. Here the data is given. From 1983 to 2011, the population increase was 718 millions, and it increased from 718 millions in 1983 to 1227 millions in 2012. The growth in population was like this. In 1983, the population was 718 millions. It increased to 1227 millions in 2011. Whereas the labor force was 261 millions in 1983. It increased to 440 in 2011. The net increase of 179 millions of labor force. So jobs must be created, must have to be created for 179 millions of people labor force, and it was a high number. Job creation was not possible with that speed of economic development. So unemployment problem became severe. Next one is jobless growth. This was a new trend. See, the GDP during the period 2005 to 8 was only 9%. Of course, it was very good, but the increase in employment was 2.7% per annum during the period 1999 to 2005. But the increase in employment from 2005 to 9 was nil, 0%. So for these 5 years, there was no employment job creation. There was no employment creation. So population was increasing during this period also. When population is increasing and there was no job creation, there was no employment generation, then what will happen? The unemployment problem will be multiplied. This happened. And next, and this is a new concept. Yes, economic development was there. GDP was increasing at a good rate of 9%. The increase in GDP was 9%. Yes, it was good. The economy was developing. generation, job creation, employment generation was nil, 0%. So without creating any job, without any employment generation, development was taking place. That means what? When there is employment, there is no unemployment, there is no job, then the income of the people will be zero. When there is no income, there is not demand. When there is no demand, it will have its own replication. The effective demand will be less. The economy will be in doldrums, financial doldrums in future. The same happened. But for that period, the growth rate was high. The growth rate of GDP was high, 9%, because it was due to capital intensive techniques of production. Next, inappropriate technology. The technology that is being used in India is not appropriate, not suitable. Here population is high, labor force is also high, unemployment rate is also high. But within the past 3 decades from 1992, capital intensive methods of production are being adopted in the industries. So when capital intensive methods of production is adopted, then automatically labor will become unemployed. Unemployment problem will rise. So here see, first one is before 1992 there was a scarcity of capital. Afterwards, due to LPG, liberalization, protection and globalization, private persons came forward, investment from other countries were invited, and foreign investors invested their money in India, and India began to race in the global race. When this was happening, there was no debt for investment. But capital intensive techniques of production are being used, adopted from 1992. So labor is increasing with the population increase, rising population, but labor intensive techniques are not being used. Capital intensive techniques are being used. That's why unemployment problem rose to the maximum level. Next, substituting capital for labor. The silk industries are revived with using capital intensive techniques, replacing modern machinery. When modern machinery and advanced techniques of production are used, labor intensive methods of production are shunted out. So unemployment rose to the maximum level. Next point is lack of rural industrialization. You better know that in India, most of the populations, approximately 70% of the population lives in villages. But 70% of the investment is there in urban industries. So, what will happen? The people, the investors are not in a position to come over and establish their industries, their farms in rural areas. Because of that, the rural population are becoming unemployed. At the same time, agriculture is not in a position to absorb the growing population. So, unemployment is becoming a natural phenomenon. Another thing, capital intensive methods, machinery, mechanized agriculture is becoming the day of the order of the day. Even farmers are using the machinery nowadays. So when machinery is being used, agriculture machines are used in tilling the land for yielding the crops, then what will happen? The laborers will be fired out. The agricultural laborers will not find job in agriculture field. So they will migrate to urban areas in search of jobs. But the skills to do and find a job in industries in urban areas will not be there in them. So they will become unemployed. Next one is inappropriate education system. This education system, which is prevalent there now in India, was introduced by Lord Macaulay. And this is a defective system. This system was introduced with the motive to produce clerks and that type of employees which can help the British rulers for collection of revenue, not for the welfare of the citizens. So this education system is inappropriate now. It has become defective and it is a theoretical one. And this education system, which is prevalent in India, was introduced long ago and it has become outdated now. It is a theoretical one. Vocational education must be introduced everywhere, all along from 6th class or 8th class. So measures must be taken. Next point is lack of manpower planning. See, the governments have no plans with regard to manpower, increasing manpower. How many unemployed people will be there in the next years, few years, and how many and what type of jobs must be created for them? What type of jobs would be there in future and how they must be educated and what type of skills to be imparted in the next population, growing population. This type of manpower planning must be there. For example, there are many engineering colleges. They have come up like mushrooms. Lakhs of engineering graduates are coming out of those engineering colleges, but the job for them is not there. Only 13 to 14% of employability is there. Those who have studied engineering colleges for the past 4 years are, after getting their certificates, becoming unemployed. They are finding themselves to be a drop in the ocean of unemployment among the educated, technically educated persons, because of wrong manpower planning. If the government had planned properly, instead of opening and giving permission to those many engineering colleges, if medical colleges have been given permission opened by the government, then medical graduates might have come forward. Vocational education has been imparted. Then vocational education are having that type of skills. Students might have come out of the colleges, and they would have become self-employed. In foreign countries, there is a degree for entrepreneurship. In India, you can't find that. Even if you find in 1 or 2 universities, there are degrees with regard to entrepreneurship. They will make you learn how to start the business, what type of business require how much of investments, what are the techniques for production, techniques of production. So these type of instructions will be there. So our education system is inappropriate with the passage of time in these times. Next, lack of manpower planning. Manpower planning is also lacking in India. Next, social sector. So the days have changed. The attitude of government towards the education and employment has changed. Once upon a time, girls won't like to go to school and study. Now, girls and women are coming forward to study, have education, even up to PhDs, and they want to do job eagerly. They are more interested than men to do government jobs. So their attitude has changed. Women's education empower the women. That type of attitude of having education is there nowadays. With the change in attitude, with the change in bent of thoughts of the women, the population eager to work, to have employment, has increased. So the women are also becoming part of labor force now. With the increase in labor force and decrease in growth and decrease in labor intensive techniques of production, the unemployment problem is increasing. Lack of self-employment opportunities. In India, we find that people do not have the entrepreneurship qualities. They don't want to learn the skills which needs to be suited and be fit in the developing economy. They don't want to have such a type of skill or education which will make them, empower them, and to make them stand on their own legs, on their own. They don't want to be self-employed, rather than they want to be a government servant, a government employee with bigger amount of salary. So, lack of entrepreneurship qualities and spending the years for waiting for government job is, to my opinion, it is a bad thing. So, there is lack of self-employment opportunities. This is one of the causes of unemployment. If self-employment opportunities are created, or the unemployed youth, the rising population are forced to think that you must not be an unemployed, instead you be your master of business, then it is better. Government must make persons entrepreneurs rather than employees. Such a type of education must be imparted, and their minds must be changed. Interest must be created. Next, last one is decline in cottage industries. Decline in cottage industries. So once upon a time, in rural India, small and cottage industries were there. Handloom industries were there. But with the passage of time and with the invention of new equipments, modern technology, capital intensive techniques are being used for higher production, and the cottage and small scale industries could not compete with the capital intensive or modern industries, both with regard to the prices as well as the quality of products. So automatically the cottage and small scale industries are wiped out. They could not stand the competition of the capital intensive industries. So when cottage and small scale industries which were there established in rural areas are wiped out, then automatically the rural population which were there engaged and employed in those small and cottage industries became unemployed. They could not migrate to big industries in urban areas as they do not have sufficient skills to join in advanced industries and do work. So unemployment problem was cropped up in rural areas. This was multiplied by the advanced methods of techniques being introduced in agriculture sector also. This way unemployment problem became more serious. Students, now we will discuss the remedial measures to remove the unemployment problem. And this can be divided broadly into three divisions. One is rapid economic development. Number 2 is liberal institutional finance for self-employed. Number 3, promoting small scale industries. Number 4 is major employment generation programs. So we can discuss the remedial measures in the 4 subsections. Coming to the first point, rapid economic development. If technical education is imparted and training is given to the unemployed youth and their skills are upgraded, then the economic development will take place rapidly. When economic development will take place, automatically the job creation will be there and unemployment problem will be not 100% solved, but it will be mitigated to some extent. Next one is liberal institutional finance for self-employed. So institutional finance means here banking facilities. Institutional credit facilities must be provided to the self-employed persons who are unemployed now. If capital is provided, credit facilities are provided for the development of the unemployed youth or self-employed youth, then unemployment problem will be solved to some extent. Now, banks and other financial institutions are not coming forward to provide loans and advances to the self-employed persons because they do not have the repaying capacity, sufficient repaying capacity. So, after taking loans, banks fear that they may not repay them. That's why they are not providing sufficient bank loans. Institutional financial institutions are not giving loans to the self-employed persons. This must be provided. Next, promoting small scale industries. Small scale industries have become extinct to some extent, in my opinion, or they have become outdated. They are not in a position to compete with the advanced, developed, modern industries. They can't compete with them, both with regard to the prices and the quality of product they are producing. So, government must give some support. The major employment generation programs are these. IRDP program, Integrated Rural Development Program. This program was a comprehensive program to give employment opportunities to all the persons in all the sectors. That means 3 sectors: agriculture, manufacturing and service sector. And this program was launched in 1978-79 to provide self-employment in all sectors, all the 3 sectors what I told you. And this was a comprehensive program. This was restructured later. Next, TRAISM, training of rural youth for self-employment. This program was launched in 1979 for rural youth. And the motto was the objective was to create 2 lakh jobs for rural youth every year. This was a good opinion. This was a good opinion objective of the government. But it failed. This program was merged in SGSY later in 1999. What is SGSY? SGSY means Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. This is also a Swarozgar, means self-employment. This is also a self-employment program, and in this program, which was launched in 1999, the TRISM was merged. And what the SGSY says? SGSY says that at least one from a household must be included in the SGH, self-employment, self-help group, SHG. In SHG, there must be at least one member of a household so that he may develop. Self-help group must be there, and self-help group must be consisted of those members who belongs to households, and at least one member from each household must be there in a SH. And this program SGSY was initiated in 1999 after restructuring the IRDP, and later this was restructured in Rural Livelihood Mission. National Rural Livelihood Mission was created, and this SGSY was restructured and given the name of National Rural Livelihood Mission later. Next, fourth program, unemployment removal program, or you can say the employment generation program is, fourth program is RLEGP, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program. So this program was initiated in 1983. The objective of this program was to create 100 man days of work to a person in a household in a year. This program was also merged in JRY, Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. The next employment generation program is SCPUP, Self-Employment Program for Urban Poor. This program was launched in 1986. This was to help the self-unemployed poor to set up their own business, and loan amount from 50,000 to 2 lakhs was being given under this program, and subsidy 25% subsidy was also there. The self-employed businessmen who want to avail the benefits of this scheme were to self-finance 10%, bank will give 65% of loan, and 25% of the loan amount will be in the form of subsidy. Next, JRY, Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. This program was launched in 1989 in 120 backward districts of India, and in JRY, two programs, employment generation programs, NREP and RLEGP, were merged, as I told you earlier. And this program itself was relaunched with a new name, JGSY, Jawahar Gram Swaraj Rozgar Yojana, in 1999, and the objective was the creation of developable assets and infrastructure in India in rural areas to create sustained employment to the rural unemployed youth. And as I earlier told you, NREP was another program. This program was launched during 6th plan, and the objective was to the objective of NREP was to create the income group during to help the persons who do not have any income during the silage season or during the season when there will be no agricultural productivity during summer season. The last point in the syllabus is Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramina Kaushalya Yojana. This scheme was initiated in 2014 for the rural youth to develop their skills, of the rural educated youth. The main intention, the main features you can say of this scheme is to give training to 10 lakh rural youth in 3 years by 2017. As this program was initiated in 2014, within 3 years, that means by 2017, 10 lakh rural youth were to be trained. That was the target. Minimum age group to be the member of beneficiary of this scheme was 15 years instead of 18 years. And skill development training centers were launched in all the major areas to train the rural youth. Skills were imparted, and those skills imparted and training given was of international standard. And 1500 crores of rupees was allotted in the budget 2015 and 16. So it was a grand scheme for the rural unemployed educated youth. And a data has been given with regard to the status of skilled workers in India. Status of skilled workers has been given. As for that, 12 million workforce every year is coming. 12 million workforce is being generated every year in the economy. And among them, only 1 million are trained, and that too in 10 years period. See the data, 12 million workforce is coming up every year. But the trained skilled people among the 12 million workforce that is emerging every year, during the past 10 years, only 1 million workforce is imparted training. And another one is 10% only are skilled in India. Among the workforce, only 10% of the workforce is skilled in India, whereas the rate is 75% in European Union and 50% in China. That means 50% of the workforce in China is skilled one, and 75% of the workforce in European Union is skilled. See the abhorrent data.